If you want to get into swimbait fishing but do not want to spend $300 on a rod, I believe I have found the best entry-level swimbait rod on the market. After doing a ton of research on budget swimbait rods, I kept landing on this same rod over and over again. This is the Dobyns Fury swimbait rod, specifically the 795 SB. And I want to take some time today to explain why I think this might be the best beginner swimbait rod that you can buy. So let's dive into it. So I myself am a beginner swimbait fisherman. That's actually why I was doing all of this research to find, the best rod in the budget that I had. And I believe that this could possibly be probably the best budget swimbait rod that you can buy, and especially for the price that you pay. I think I pay $150 for this rod. And if you go and search, swimbait rods with that specific keyword, you're looking at rods that are anywhere of, upwards of $250 to $500, and that's quite a bit of money. My budget was that I wanted to stay under $200, and that was actually pretty tough. You can find some budget-friendly rods out there that are a heavy power, but your lure rating typically falls in between the 1 to 3 ounce range. And I have a couple of swimbaits here that are actually above that 1 to 3 ounce range. Specifically this thing, I don't remember the name of it, but this is a Savage Gear swimbait, and the rod that I was using to throw swimbaits on previously was in that 1 to 3 ounce range, and that would overload it pretty bad. Actually, I could not cast it effectively, and I did not feel comfortable hooking into big fish with it. So that's what caused me to start doing all of this research to find the best budget-friendly swimbait rod. Swimbait fishing is probably one of the coolest ways to catch big bass, in my opinion, but it's also probably one of the hardest techniques to get into just because of the price of the gear. Most swimbait rods cost between, like I said, $250 to $500, and a lot of them are designed to throw like huge baits that most beginners aren't even going to even think about throwing, and most of those big baits are just about as much money as those rods. I don't know if anybody has looked up how expensive some swimbaits are, but I've seen people spend over $1,000 on swimbaits, and that's not a joke. Like I was saying, most swimbait rods are typically built for 2 to 8 ounce baits. That's that, $250 to $500 rod range. Most beginners, you're only throwing like the 1 to 3 ounce baits like I was talking about. Like these guys right here, your 6-inch mag draft. These things are awesome. And then some of these, like this is a Z-Man Shadtron. This is a line through swimbait. I don't have one of the hooks on me, but the hook goes inside of there, and you run your line through the nose, and it comes up through it like a plastic tube out through this crevice, and then you tie your hook onto it, and then when you pull tension on the line, it pulls the hook into there. Even these things were on the cusp of overloading my previous swimbait rod. So it could do the mag drafts, it could do them very well. These things don't weigh a whole lot. You can fish these on a lot of probably something that you've already got in your boat or in your garage. These things are very versatile when it comes to what gear you can use them on. But once you start getting out of, the mag draft realm and into these bigger baits, you're going to want a rod specific for the baits that you're trying to throw. So this is what caused me to start looking for a rod that could throw most common swim baits that beginners actually use, but without costing a fortune. And throughout all of my research, I continuously landed on this Dobyns Fury series rod, simply because there are no other rods within this lure weight rating. This one specifically, I believe, is 1 to 5 ounces, which is a pretty wide variety and pretty much right in that realm of most swim baits that you're going to find for sub $100. What I liked the most about this rod is the lure rating. I mean, a lot of budget swim baits rod either don't throw a heavy enough baits, or they're designed for massive baits, and this Fury series just sits right in that sweet spot. All of the baits that I currently own, this rod can throw, and they're not going to overload the rod when I make a cast. Especially when I hook into a bigger fish, I'll have a lot more confidence now in this rod than I did my previous one. The price of this thing, like I was saying, 130 to 140, sometimes 150, depending on where you get it from, makes it one of the most affordable swim bait rods that come from a major brand. If you don't know about Dobyns rods, these guys are very well known. They make a very, very good quality product. I have heard nothing but good things about them in all of my research. I've been watching fishing YouTube videos for quite some time, diving into technical details about rods and bait setups and things like that, and every time I hear somebody talk about Dobyns, they have nothing but good things to say, including the guys from Tactical Bassin. I watch them a lot just because of how technical they get about things, and I thoroughly enjoy all of their videos, and they have said nothing but good things about Dobyns. Another great thing about this rod is the wide variety of lure weight rating that it has. So this rod is going to be able to throw your 6-inch mag drafts, these guys right here, and it's also going to be able to throw your bigger Savage Gear swim baits, like that guy, or something like this guy. Not a heavy bait. This is the Jackal Gantarelle. I just recently got this actually for Christmas. I think this is just under 3 ounces, but this is a pretty expensive bait, and I don't want to be throwing something like this on a rod with a low lure rating with the potential of either breaking off or having something happen and losing this bait, because this is not a cheap bait. Here are the technical specs of this rod. As you can see, it is a medium heavy fast action. And it is designed for swim baits, glide baits, and even umbrella rigs, and that is something that I actually have not spoken about in this video yet, but this is also an umbrella rig rod as well. I only have one umbrella rig. I do not have it out here on the table currently. Where I live, they are not as effective as they are in other places, so I do not throw them very often. This could just be a me thing, I don't know, but every time I throw an A-rig, I don't really have any luck with it. So I've only ever bought one of them. But if you do live somewhere where A-rigs or umbrella rigs, whatever you call them, are effective, this rod is also a great option for those as well. With this rod, you can throw most of the entry-level swim baits on the market, or umbrella rigs or glide baits, without needing multiple rods. And because of the fact that it's a Dobyns, you know that you're getting a good quality rod. Dobyns has a really strong reputation for building great quality rods. They balance well, they hold up over time. So getting a swim bait rod from them at this price point is honestly really impressive. So if you're someone who wants to get into swim bait fishing but doesn't really want to drop a ton of money right away, just wants to kind of test the waters, I honestly think this is one of the best places to start. It's going to be great for beginners, you know, people testing swim baits, budget anglers, and even kayak fishermen. This rod isn't super long, it's only 7'9". So if you're somebody who fishes from a kayak like myself, it's not going to be, you know, 8 foot plus like most swim bait rods that you see. This is actually pretty short for a swim bait rod, so that is, you know, pretty advantageous as somebody who is a kayak fisherman. Now obviously that, you know, this isn't going to compete with the $400 swim bait rods that you see, but that's not, you know, what it was designed for. It's a budget friendly entry level rod. It's a perfect starting point. And you can pick one of these up. You know, most decent sized sporting goods stores usually have a Dobyns rack in their fishing section. or you can order them offline. And the cool thing about ordering them online is that most of the time when you order directly through Dobyns, they usually send you some sort of cool free gift with your rod purchase. In my case, they sent me a reel for free. Dobyns Maverick 7.2 gear ratio. Only problem is that it was a right-hand reel. I'm not a right-hand reel fisherman, as you can see here. It's a left-hand reel. I'm weird, but they gave me a free reel, so that's still pretty cool. I can either give it to somebody or sell it or something. But if you're, somebody who uses right-hand reels, you can order directly from them, and they can send you a free reel for your rod. That way you don't have to go and spend, extra money on a reel. So if you're somebody that's thinking about getting into swimbait fishing but don't really want to break the bank, I genuinely think the Dobyns Fury swimbait rod is one of the best entry points out there. Throughout all the research, like I said, I could not find anything else for under $200 that has the weight rating that this does from a reputable company like Dobyns. So anyway, that's going to be about it for today. If you guys want to see more swimbait content or reviews like this, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing if you like this. I'm going to be uploading a lot more frequently this year. I'm going to try to make a lot of review videos, how-to videos, and a lot of fishing content, so stay tuned. Thank you guys. Have a good one.